Did we just witness the moment Max Verstappen flipped the 2025 title race on its head? Because after Singapore, the paddock looks rattled, McLaren looks divided, and Verstappen, calm as a winter storm, just carved the gap and sent a message: I'm not done. Tonight, we break down how Verstappen went from mathematically in it to psychologically in control, why McLaren's civil war is fueling his run, and what the remaining races and sprints mean for a late-season ambush. Stay to the end because there's a twist that Mercedes and Ferrari fans won't like. With 6 Grands Prix and 3 sprints left, Verstappen has hacked a once triple-digit deficit down to a puncher's chance. McLaren's Oscar Piastri still leads, Lando Norris is right there, but Verstappen, fresh off a wave of podiums and key wins, now lurks in the mirrors. The numbers say Piastri first, Norris second, Verstappen third, but momentum says something very different. If momentum were horsepower, how many McLaren debriefs would it take to dyno it? Blink twice if you're a strategist. Singapore was the pressure cooker. Norris clipped Verstappen early, Piastri got dragged into the crossfire, and the orange garage turned tense. Verstappen still brought it home P2, damage limited, pressure applied, while McLaren had to manage simmering team politics on live TV and team radio. That matters more than it sounds. Titles are not just won with pace, they're lost with politics. Because if McLaren's biggest rival is now McLaren, what happens when Verstappen shows up with a car that finally bites on corner entry? The siege. How Max turned the tide. The turnaround Red Bull's mid-season reset changed the texture of this championship. Since Laurent Mekies stepped in as team principal in July, Verstappen has stacked 4 straight podiums, including 2 race wins, and the gap shrank from 104 to 63. Call it leadership, call it setup clarity, call it Max being Max, but it's a real swing. Mekies won't take the credit, the stopwatch might. Italy, win Azerbaijan, win Singapore. Second with points pried away from both McLarens. Those results clustered in the run-in are devastating because they don't just score, they psychologically reset the grid. Suddenly the paddock's whispering, Red Bull understand the car again. And McLaren can't just manage the gap, they have to out-risk Verstappen. Pit stop, subscribe now. Back to it. Pressure inside McLaren. Andrea Stella's let them race doctrine is being tested in public. Norris versus Piastri is a beautiful problem until it's not. A brush here, a radio barb there, and suddenly you're spending Monday managing egos instead of upgrades. Stella admits it's getting harder. That's oxygen for Verstappen. Rivalries equals free lap time. For Max, rival drama is free lap time. When Norris and Piastri fight the mirror and each other, Verstappen fights only the stopwatch. Even the Singapore qualifying friction, with Max furious about being impeded, fed his edge. He thrives on the chip on his shoulder. He filed it under remembered. So should everyone else on the grid. Mercedes and Ferrari, the missing threat. George Russell's peaks aside, Mercedes haven't consistently bullied Red Bull in this run-in. Ferrari? Hamilton's switch brought headlines, not podiums. Solid points, yes. Relentless podium pressure, no. And that matters because Verstappen's hunt relies on McLaren feeling alone up front. With Ferrari stuck around best of the rest, Red Bull can focus fire entirely on papaya. So what decides this title? Aero upgrades or human error? Because if it's the latter, Verstappen already has McLaren exactly where he wants them. Glancing sideways. The endgame. How Max can humiliate the field. Mechanical edge versus mental edge. Red Bull's car isn't the season-long juggernaut of 2023, but in race trim, on hotter tracks with rear limited wear, they're suddenly alive. Combine that with Verstappen's ruthless tyre phase management and you get the blueprint. Qualify close, undercut if necessary, scare them into over-defending and harvest late. That's how you humiliate rivals. Death by 1,000 micro-decisions. The remaining calendar, why it favours Max. Sprints matter now. Extra points, extra chances to tilt psychology. With 6 races and 3 sprints left, Max has 9 more battles to claw back 60-odd points. That's a steep climb, until a single chaotic weekend flips 12 to 15 points in an afternoon, and chaos has a forwarding address in a title run-in, McLaren's bind. If Stella imposes team orders, he risks alienating one driver. If he doesn't, he risks a double DNF that hands Verstappen a lifeline. There's no painless path. Norris believes he had the right to send it. Piastri feels the internal ledger is unbalanced. Each believes he is the world champion in waiting. Verstappen believes the arithmetic will sort itself as long as he's always there. How humiliation actually looks. It's not about lapping people, it's subtler, colder, it's forcing rivals to drive your race. It's the moment when Norris covers thin air into turn 1 because he thinks Max is coming. It's Piastri lifting earlier than he wants because sector 3 temps are spiking under pressure. It's the pit wall splitting strategies, just in case, and losing both. That's humiliation, when a single driver bends the collective decision-making of 2 rival garages. 1. Front row or P3 starts, grid position limits risk with McLaren's dueling starts. 2. Early undercut threats keep McLaren reactive, force them to cover and burn tyres. 3. Sprint aggression. Treat sprints like micro-heists, 2 to 4 points are real title ammo. 4. 0 DNFS. The maths only works if Max finishes everything. 5. Exploit safety cars. Red Bull's pit stop delta has returned, take the free air when offered. 6. Mind games. Amplify McLaren's internal friction by doing nothing. Just be there. Serious question. Is team harmony a performance part, or do you have to order it from the FIA shop? What separates Max is not just speed, it's tempo control. He clocks your natural lap rhythm and then destroys it. Lando thrives in flow, Piastri thrives on precision. Verstappen erases both by forcing the awkward corners, dirty air in, compromised exit out, until your perfect lap is 0.2 slow and your tyres are crying. That's how the humiliation starts. Invisibly, on the Delta. They've been magnificent, don't get it twisted. But the title run-in is where you pay the 2 alpha drivers tax. If Norris and Piastri keep tripping the margins, Sunday becomes survival rather than domination. And survival is Verstappen's favourite game. So ask yourself this: if the next race drops one rogue yellow flag, and if McLaren's pit wall splits strategies to keep both drivers happy, who really wins? Because momentum, psychology, and late season craft all point the same way. Verstappen doesn't need to be the fastest car every weekend. He needs to be the most inevitable. From Italy to Azerbaijan to Singapore, he's made inevitability feel inevitable. If McLaren blink once, just once, this championship flips from papaya to blue. And that would be the most brutal humiliation of all, not a blowout, but a checkmate. And if you enjoyed this analysis, don't miss our data-driven look at Red Bull's mid-season upgrade path and how Mekis quietly rearmed the team. Tap it now and keep your edge. Thanks for watching. New uploads every race week. See you on the next lap.